guys, welcome to Real Nation Fishing, and today we are going to be going and doing some bass fishing. Bass season just opened up in Ontario a couple of days ago, and I was not able to get out an opener, and it's been raining literally for the last 2 days here non-stop, and the sun has come out. I want to go and catch myself some smallmouth, but before that I also have a bunch of plastic that's been sitting around from baits that I've made and practiced and tried different ingredients. I'm going to use some of these old baits to make some senkos. I want to make some of my own baits, take them out onto the river, and let's see if we can catch ourselves some smallmouth. I also finally got around to organizing all of my tackle. As you guys can see here, I've got them all in these little Plano edge boxes, which are really good. Cleaned out all my bags, sorted out all my soft plastics in here. Still have a bunch of rods behind me that need some line, but today we'll probably be just taking our 4-rod, 3 spinning setups, and a bait casting setup. The river is probably going to be up because, well, yeah, we've got a ton of rainfall. We can only find out when we get there, but before we do, let's make ourselves some bait. I'll show you guys a little bit of the process. If you guys want to see a more detailed video on how you make baits, what you need and things like that, I can definitely do that as well. I'm going to put you guys on a tripod, get to some bait making. All right, so we are ready, guys. What I'm going to do first here is I'm going to get myself a Pyrex cup or pot, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to collect from this bin in here that has a bunch of different plastics that I've used. I'm going to get the colors that I kind of want, the shades I'm looking for. Go with like the green pumpkins, chartreuse, browns, and reds. This color here, for example, I was trying to match a color. I was trying to make something and it turned out alright, but I didn't really like it. So I'm just going to use some of this in here as well to add a little bit of color. I've got an old fluke sitting in here as well. Alright, so once you've got your baits and your plastic, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut them up into really small pieces and into the cup. The smaller that you can cut them up, the better. They'll just melt better. Alright, there we go. Cut up all our baits into little pieces just like that, and they are ready to melt in the microwave. Make sure if you guys are doing this, you guys are doing this in a well ventilated area. Like I just have this set up in my garage. You want to be doing this like in your basement or in your bedroom or something. I haven't experimented with salt as much, but this time around I am going to put salt, and usually non-iodized salt works good, but I only have table salt, so that's what I'm going to use. As you guys can see, the plastic is completely melted. So let me show you the mold that I'm using. This is a 5-inch mold from Angling AI. This is a core shot stick bait worm. You can make laminated ones, 2 tones. You can also make core shot senkos, which I'm gonna make a video about soon, where you have your stick bait, and in the middle of the stick bait, you can add another layer of color, which I find to be very cool. I still haven't done that yet, but I definitely want to. Take our injector in, pull up as much as we can, let some out just to make sure there's no air in there, and there we go. Just push down, even pressure, lift it up, and then just top up your mold over here. We'll put the excess back, and as you can see, look how fast that's already hardening. You can use one of these bottle cleaners to get some plastic out from here as well, from the hard to reach places. Just like that. Your injector is clean, plastic is almost ready. Having your temperatures right is probably one of the most important things. To what temperature you want to get your plastic to, then the best temperature to actually inject or shoot the plastic. Let's see how these turned out. And look at that. The lighting in here probably isn't as great, but they turned out really good. So right there, I just used plastic that I had sitting around, right? And I turned them into brand new baits to use. This is a second batch, around 317 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I like that temperature to shoot. Second batch done. Got yourself senkos. Show you guys the colors here. kilometers from about an hour, but we're gonna try to make the most of it. I know all of you guys have heard of catch and cook, but this is a make and catch where I have made a bait and I'm gonna try to catch a fish on it. That's not the only lure that we're gonna fish, but if I can catch a fish on that, that would be amazing. Of course, if I'm coming to fish smallies, you know I'm gonna have a topwater tied on. Usually topwater bite, you usually know if it's on or off right away, so I'm just gonna cast this out and see if we get anything to bite. Yeah, there definitely is a lot of current. This is my first time since bass opener coming and fishing here, so I'm not sure as to what the conditions are going to be like. No idea. We're just gonna have to fish and find out. I know there's some rocks and like some timber out that way down there because I usually get snagged there. I'm trying to work my bait over that, trying to see if there's any fish that are hanging out over there, but we'll see. Try working in the shallow water just along the wall here, and let's see if there's anything sitting here. I'm just throwing a bone color Zero spook right here. I love these baits. You cast them really far and they have a really great action when you're walking them. I also do know just from past experience on this river, it's so far, at least from this spot, it's just usually finesse fishing. You never know until you try. Tubes work great here. Oh, there we go. We have a taker right there. That thing's hit it right on that pause at the same spot that I was talking about earlier, where the trees and the rocks are. It's not big, but it's a good fish. And that was the exact same spot that I was talking about earlier with the rock and the wood. Let me get my net. Let's land this fish. There we go. All right, first fish of the day. That is weird. I don't know what that is, but it looked like a tapeworm. But first fish, guys. Not a big one, tiny guy, but we'll take him. As I was saying, the topwater bite, you usually know if it's on or off because they'll bite in those first few casts. And he hit it on the pause, so I'm just gonna work this a little bit slower, maybe just 1-2s. I was working it faster earlier, and then when I stopped, fish hit it. But we're on the board. It's just crazy how smallmouth, even the smallest ones, will hit so hard. The video just doesn't do justice. Oh, there's another one. That was a small one. I think it was like a rock bass or something that tried to hit it. Oh, that is... Guys, that is... Look at that. That right there is a massive snapping turtle. Oh man, I was just looking down. And I saw his tail. The thing is huge. I know they get bigger than that, but that one's pretty big. Okay, now we are going to fish the senko that we made earlier. I just have this rigged on a number 2 Nico hook. So that definitely sinks better than my other baits. There's a lot more action when it's sinking. It's probably because of salt. But this is going to be some slow fishing because this bait is not sinking that fast. Like I'm counting right now, it's like 1, 2, 3. It's barely a foot per second. Good thing about this bait is that I can work this bait in that lower half of the water column. I have that for this. Then I have the paddle tail swim bait that I can also work anywhere in the water column, but it's a little faster moving bait. And I have the Ned rig, which is completely bottom. So I kind of have all the columns of the water covered here. So I have 3 or 4 rods, so I can switch up pretty quickly. I'm just gonna let this sink and let the current kind of carry it. And then when I feel like it's close to the bottom, I'm just gonna give it a few twitches and let it sink back down. Okay, so the current is taking my bait out to the left here. So what I want to do now that I know that, because I cast my bait out there and end up there downstream, so I'm going to cast a little bit in front of me or upstream. So now this way my bait is going to go from here out to that point over there somewhere in that area. That's the area where I know a fish might be. I'm just going to let it pick up some of the slack so at least I can feel the bite if I get a bite. I'm just going to watch my line here. See my line going to the left. That's because of the current. I'm not going to swim this all the way back because I know for a fact that because I fished here before, like this area over here hasn't produced much. It's usually around this side because of that cover on down at the bottom. If I am going to swim it back, I'm going to make sure I reel in a lot of my slacks and my bait doesn't get too far out that way. And I'm going to reel it back in along like this line right here or over here in this V. Like right here, basically. Now I would fish this Senko on like a weighted head, like a weighted wacky jig, or even a small split shot above my hook, just for some casting distance and so it doesn't drift away in the current as much. But I've been experimenting with how the salt affects the bait and how much salt makes the bait heavy and how it sinks. So I probably will have to add a little bit more salt to this for sure, because I know for a fact that if I was to tie on like a Yamamoto Senko or like even a Yum Dinger, I'd be you feel the weight of that worm, and I'm not really feeling that with this one, so probably needs a little bit more salt. I'll be honest with you, fishing over here, I haven't had a lot of luck fishing a Senko for some reason. It's just weird. It's like the only spot that I know that the numbers of fish that I've caught in a Senko are so limited, but anywhere else it works. If I can even get one decent fish on the Senko that we made, then I'm gonna be happy. Alright, we're gonna give this one more cast and then fish a Ned rig for a bit, which I guarantee you will get bit around here. I don't know what it is with the spot, but the fish just don't seem to take Senkos here. I don't know why. I fished them a lot. Maybe I just gotta try a different color or something. Alright, we'll throw the Ned rig. Unfortunately, no bites on our homemade lure. Other than that one bite on the Topwater, we have not got a bite. What can we do different? That's a bite. That was a bite. There we go. No, it came off. It came off. Caught for something down here. I don't know what that was. Just came out of the water again. Oh yeah, that's a fish. I didn't even know a fish had it. What is that? That was a fish. That was good. It hit right on the fall. Oh, that's a good smallmouth. Oh wow, wow, wow! This thing is running. On the Ned rig, just like I expected. Don't go out there, there's weeds there. Don't go out there. Please. No, not there. Not there. This thing was sitting pretty shallow there. This thing is pulling. God, man, how big is it? I can't even move it. Just doesn't want to give up. It's not that big. Oh man, these fish fight so good. Oh, that's a good smallmouth actually. I don't know what I'm talking about. That is a good smallmouth, man. I can't lose this fish. There we go. Yes. God. Oh my God, he spit the hook out right in the net. God. He spit the hook out right in the net. Oh. Let me show you guys that fish. That is a nice fish. Oh man, these fish are just so gorgeous. I love fishing for a smallmouth. It wasn't on the bait that we wanted, but still a good fish. One last look at the fish. See you later, buddy. That was fun. That was fun. Oh no. Did I just break my Senko off? I'm just gonna fish the Ned rig then. Right there, like I wasn't getting bit, and I asked myself that question too. I'm like, what else can I try? What else can I do? And I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? I looked to the right. Oh, that's a fish. That's another one. Man, they love the Ned rig. That's all I know. I should have made a Ned rig video. But yeah, I was looking over to the right and I thought, you know what? I should cast a little bit shallower because there are some boulders there. And ended up being a good fish. Not as big as the last one, but still a good fish. Very nice colors on it. Beauty. Even the small ones hit hard. That's what fishing's about, man. Especially if you're fishing from the shore. You can't just get stuck in like one thing. You gotta be ready to try different spots, move, use the water you have available, and try to learn it as much as you can. Try to figure out where the deep spots are, where the rocks are at. Yeah, you're gonna lose some lures in the process. That's just part of it. But when you catch nice fish, it just makes it worth it. These fish, I think they're just sitting outside of the current edge here. There's current down there, but as you get closer here, there isn't much current. I think they're just sitting on that edge. Because so far, that's the last two fish. I think that's where they... Oh, that thing hit right on the drop. Oh, it came off, man. I tossed it right on his head. I was just reeling in the slack. Oh, that's a rock bass that tried to hit it. Or a little smallmouth. Come on, smallmouth. There. You got it. He tried to hit that like 3 times. I knew we could muster up one more. Here we go. Alright guys, so I'm finally back home and I got absolutely drenched there at the end. I ended up staying there longer than I had planned and fish in the rain, didn't get any more bites. Now I know the purpose of this video was to make a bait and catch fish on it, but unfortunately could not catch a bass on the lure that we made. I'm going to keep experimenting with that senko to try to get as perfect as I can. This was my first day properly fishing since bass opener. I had a great day, enjoyed it, caught fish, caught a good fish, so completely happy with that. As you guys can see, I have all my tackle opened up here because it got wet in the rain. So if you guys are ever out in the rain, make sure when you get home, dry everything up. Even though these Plano edge boxes have airwick technology, you don't want to get rust on your hooks at all. I gotta be up early tomorrow. Tomorrow is Eid. So if any of you guys are celebrating Eid Mubarak, happy Eid. And let me show you guys what the family's done while I was gone. They're just making plates and treats for family members tomorrow. That's gonna be the end of the video, guys. If you guys enjoyed the content, if you guys learned anything, please make sure you guys comment, leave a like. My goal with this channel is to provide you guys with content that keeps you guys engaged, provide some value, hopefully some entertainment along the way as well. So until next time, be safe, be well, keep fishing. Thank you.